It used to be an experience to get a new piece of media, but now it's download and click play. Sure, it's easier and more efficient, but at what cost? I remember when I was younger, my brother had a couple CDs. One was the Linkin Park album, Hybrid Theory, and another was the Green Day album, the one with the bloody hand grenade heart, and I can still remember those. But can I tell you the last song I downloaded on my phone? Probably not. It used to be an experience to do anything with physical media. You'd open the music album, you'd see all the artwork and the whole track list, and then you'd proceed to put it in the disc player, and the craziest thing of all of it is you listen to the whole album. Unlike our modern era where it's one song that's popular or even a snippet of a song. We've become so dopamine heavy and so much dopamine chasing is going on that we don't even appreciate the work that goes into whole creations or whole projects anymore. I remember as a kid, I went to GameStop with my mom, and to see all the games everywhere, it was such an experience. And we went to get a game, and the game was GTA 5. And the store employee said I wasn't old enough, and my mom shouldn't buy it for me. But I promised her I was mature enough, and sure enough, I got it. And I remember opening it up, and I saw the paper map of the whole game, and even my brother had a GTA map hung up on their wall at some point. These were iconic memories. This is why the old days had so much more personality, because things were cultural icons instead of the trendy nature we have where things just kind of come and go. And you might say, oh, I remember certain trends, I remember this. Really, name me the top song of 2025. That was just last year, 2024. There's no such thing as like absolutely groundbreaking albums like that anymore. And when there's so much access to everything, things lose its value, right? You can look at this in cities. Places like New York, human life is severely devalued because people see so many people, No one really cares about each other because there's so many of them. But if you go to a smaller community, everyone cares about each other, everyone knows each other, because quantity decreases value. It's that simple. You can see it with the dating market even. Everywhere you go, quantity decreases value unless it's artificially inflated. For example, back in the day, we used to have game releases, right? And people would camp outside stores on the release date. And it would become a whole community event just to get the game on release date. But now you can just download it from home. People would fight to get a copy of a game. Because scarcity created value. It created hype, right? I wish I could get stomped on in a Black Friday sale once again. Okay, not actually. I was never a big fan of these big events myself, but it still was a really cool cultural thing, right? Outside of the people getting trampled, but you get my point. It used to be cool, right? Everything is now online, so we don't do anything like that anymore. There's no events. It's kind of like you play a video game, right? And there's a big community event, right? Everyone's there and it's all crazy. It was like that in real life. There was these big community events that everyone just gathered to, and we don't really do that anymore. And now we are heading in a direction where you'll own nothing. You'll just have a license to access it, which can be revoked at any time. Counter-Strike Global Offensive was my favorite game, and I paid for it. But now it doesn't even exist. And even at one point it became free to play, but it's gone now. So did I get robbed? I'd say so, but I guess when I bought it, I never owned it. I just owned access to a license for a temporary time, right? A little messed up in my personal opinion. But physical media is making a bit of a comeback. We have some things like vinyls and the likes, but truthfully, I doubt we're ever going to go fully back because just like humanity goes, when something makes other things easier, it sticks around, The second we had irrigation on farms, we never went back to watering things one by one. I don't know if that's actually how it works. I'm not a farmer. But I imagine that is how it is. And sure, they might try masquerading that nowadays, where they try making something like the old physical media days, where they'll be like, oh, buy this edition and you can get the Game Pass, and you can get free camouflages, stupid, right? It's not the same. Digital assets will never have the same emotional feel to it, There's something about holding a physical item. I have an e-reader, right? An electric book reader, and I prefer reading physical books. I don't know why, it just feels better. And there's a lot of things like that. It will never be the same. And not only that, everything's just it's so monetized now. Things used to be made with love and care back in the day. Things were crafted with perfection in mind. They tried making such a good product, a good item, a good album, a good game. But now it's designed in a way to make money first and quality second. And so nothing is iconic like it used to be because it's not as good as it used to be. And by no means am I trying to be a complete doomer about this because, things aren't going to go back. So just to be all upset about it is a pointless thing to do. And there's a lot of great things that have come with the modern era, sure. Like a lot of digital tools I use are free. Right now I'm recording on a free software. I edit on a free software. And these things are all very, very high quality. So things have changed. I mean, back in the day, I used to have to use like a broken version of like some old editing software just to make videos. So there is some good, there is some bad. And you gotta take the good with the bad. And I guess that's how life always was, right? Sure, maybe way, way, way back in the day, they had better community, better relationships, but they also had a tiger trying to like rip their neck out. So like, I guess you can't complain too much, right? And it's kind of up to you to make these events, join these things, do things to create that type of environment again. There's still things like you could go do a run, you could do all these community events. It's just the community events aren't as they used to be, right? And a lot of times it's not the same. You can go to a concert, but people are often recording on their phones, and I want to be present again. Whether it's present at the front of a store waiting for a game release, or present walking through the woods, or present at a concert. I want us all to become in the moment again, because none of this really matters. Like, why are we recording fireworks? Why are we recording concerts? Like, actually, you pay so much to have these experiences. Let's just go back to being present. I think it's been a multiple cascading of issues that we have now. And that's why it's not just one thing, Sure, having cultural events and all that's good, but it's the presence, If you go to a game, like, okay, let's say they still did a physical game release where everyone's waiting outside the store. Let's say that happened again. What would it look like nowadays versus back then? Nowadays, everyone would be sitting on their phones, scrolling TikTok or whatever, right? It would not be the same as it was back then because we weren't so disconnected from each other. We gotta wake up, guys. Like, I don't think we can keep going on like this. We do not need to scroll. I walk around and I'm in a country where they are not very rich. Like, they're not rich at all. And I walk around and there's just kids sitting outside on their phone, like scrolling. I mean, at least they're still doing something outside, right? That's a step in the right direction. And a lot of them still do things together, because these countries are probably 10 to 20 years behind first world countries. But I can see it creeping into their culture where they are slowly separating. And it's really quite devastating to see that this is not a cultural issue. This is a world issue. Because the way we are forming is not exclusive to one culture. It's a human biology issue. We have been hijacked into a way that is going to turn us to separation. No matter the culture, no matter the environment, we will become separate. Culture is not going to fix this because it's an issue of human biology being hijacked. And so each of us as an individual has to take the steps in the right direction to actually become present again.